What's going on, everybody? So, a recent thing that a lot of people have been saying to me and asking me about is, what about some of the low value stuff? Why do we keep talking about $100, $200, $300, $400 cards? There are some deals out there for all budgets. So why are we just talking about the expensive budget? Well, let me assure you, I am not an expensive budget either. I do not have a ton of money set aside for cards. I would love if I had way more money out there to spend on my collection, but I don't. So here's what I want to do. I want to take a moment to look at some of the affordable deals out there. Vintage affordable deals, and primarily affordable deals from the 1950s. Now, why the 50s? Well, a lot of vintage collectors collect some 60s and some 50s, and some 40s and some 50s, but 50s kind of seem like the sweet spot. And I wanted to try this. I wanted to see if this was something that everybody was interested in, is looking at what are Hall of Famers in a lot of times fairly decent condition going for in that affordability zone. What can I buy for under $50? So every card I'm about to show you is from the 1950s and sold for less than $50. If it sold for $50, didn't make the cut. This is all the cards, well, not all the cards. This is 50 cards under $50. So, 50 cards from the 1950s of Hall of Famers for under $50. And they had to have sold during the month of August. So I can't just cherry pick sales over the last 6 months. This is August only. Now, I was surprised when I started digging. There are rookie cards of Hall of Famers from the 1950s that are graded that were under $50. There are some big names that are affordable. There are a ton of cards. I had to narrow it down. I had so many options to choose from. I chose 50 that I thought were really good deals. So I sprinkled in a couple of football cards in there just to keep things entertaining, because I know a lot of us are open to the whole vintage football thing. And I, for one, I think vintage football is great. So I wanted to sprinkle a little bit of that in there, but these are 50 cards from the 50s for under $50. You are going to be surprised at some of the cards that you can get in pretty darn good condition for under 50 bucks. I'm gonna go fast, 15 seconds per card. So this will be moving quickly through all 50 cards. Check them out.
All right, 50 cards from the 50s, under $50, starting with the most expensive down to the least expensive. A 1955 Warren Spahn. That thing is sweet. 3 grade from SGC for $49. I don't know. That thing is beautiful looking. Next up for $49, a 1954 Bowman Y.A. Love this card in a 4. I mean, under 50 bucks for a Whitey. I mean, his rookie card's a 51. Next up, I told you I had some football in here for you. A Frank Gifford, and this is a 1957 Topps. Really cool card. Love this year. Love this set. Frank Gifford, one of the greats of his time. Next up, yes, that is a Minnie Minoso rookie card. Now, it is a little bit of a beater, but it's a Minnie Minoso rookie card, and it's under $50. It is a 1. This is probably as low a condition as you'll see here, but it's nice. Next up, we've got a 53 Whitey. Iconic looking card, in my opinion, of Whitey. So many great cards from this set, but $48 for a 2, and that one looked pretty well centered. How about an Eddie Matthews in a 3.5 from the 56 set? Really well-centered card. Great eye appeal in my eyes. And it is under $50, coming in at $48. We got a 54 Duke Snider. Love that 54 set. So many good sets in the 50s. This one is a 3 for $48. Again, we started with the most expensive, and we're working our way down lower and lower and lower. Another football card. Got a Y.A. Tittle. 1951 Bowman. Not his rookie card, but very early on. I believe his rookie card's a 50, so this would be a second-year card, and it's in a 4. How about a 1957 Al Kaline for $47 in a 5? I mean, other than the centering, that thing is relatively sharp with the SGC 5, again, for $47. You got a card with a couple of legends on there, including Willie Mays, the rival Fence Busters card from 1958 for $46.25 in a 4. Again, I think centering is what held it back. How about more Bowman? How about a 55 Bowman Al Kaline? Now, I used to not really like this set, but you know what? I'm going to admit it's slowly growing on me, and that's a pretty decent looking one. That set is very affordable, I think, because of the wide variety of opinions on it. The 52 Topps Hall of Famer and a 2.5, and look at that smile. Look at the color on that SGC 2.5 for $45. A 57 Larry Doby, and another pretty decent looking card, fairly well centered in a 4 for less than $45. Again, it's just Hall of Famer after Hall of Famer. How about a 58 All-Star Ted Williams? Again, remember, he went a stretch of time with Topps where he didn't have a card at all. And then he had some, and then he didn't again. This one was $44 for his 58 All-Star. Casey Stengel, and this is a 1950 Bowman. And again, a pretty decent looking card for $43. I mean, keep in mind on these cards, it's, $20 to $25 just to get a card graded. So just the plastic is about $25. How about a 59 Stan Musial? Now, Stan Musial had the 58 All-Star, but this is his first base card with Topps in 1959 for $43. We got Robin Roberts in the 57 set. Really well centered. Look at the condition on that thing. I mean, that's a really nice looking card for $43. And again, PSA's charging $25 to grade, so that's $18 for the card. A 54 Bowman Eddie Matthews. Now this one's a little off center, and it's a 3, but those corners look pretty sharp to me. And it's a 54 Bowman. I think the 54 Bowman set is underappreciated. A 57 Topps Yogi Berra in a 3, coming in at $41. Now, side-to-side centering's a little off, but I've always loved the picture of Yogi on that 57 Topps card. A 58 Topps Frank Robinson. So this is his second-year card. His rookie card's at 57, so second-year card in a 3.5. Sold for $40. How about this Johnny Mize? Another 52 Topps. Seems like a 52 Topps common would be worth a decent amount. How about Johnny Mize in a 2.5 for under $40? Next up, we got Pee Wee Reese in the 57 Topps. And another pretty good looking card. Pretty good eye appeal. Little off center side to side, but nothing crazy for $38.77. And next up, we've got another Robin Roberts. This is a 53 Bowman Color. One of my favorite sets, actually. I love the 53 Bowman Color set. $38. Really well centered. In a PSA holder for Hall of Famer. Hoyt Wilhelm, again, a Hall of Famer, just like the rest of them. Look at that card. I mean, the 54 Topps set is up there in my all-time favorites. And you get a Hall of Famer in a very decent grade. Another 54 Bowman, this time a Larry Doby, in a 4.5. A little off center side to side, so if you're a centering person, this one may not meet your specifications, but for $37, that's not too bad. How about a 55 Bowman Eddie Matthews? And again, it's a 3. It's not trash. It's a good-looking card for $37 for the Eddie Matthews 55 Bowman. A 59 Topps Duke Snider in a 4. Really well centered card. It looks like there's a little mark on the bottom, but I believe that is just the glare on the bottom of the card there. But under $37. One of my favorite Warren Spahn cards. I love the picture on this card. This one comes in at a 4, and it was $36.85 in an SGC 4, and it's really well centered. Terrific eye appeal on that card. How about another rookie? Orlando Cepeda. Yeah, I mean, it's a little rounded, and it's a little off center, and it's a 2, but it's an Orlando Cepeda rookie card, and someone paid $20 just to get it graded. And you're only paying $36 for the card in the holder, authenticated. How about a raw card? 1950 Bowman Pee Wee Reese for $36. I mean, relatively well centered. The card has got a little bit of surface damage, but not awful. A 57 Topps Roy Campanella for $36. And again, little off center side to side, but it's a decent grade. It's not like it's a 1. It's not like it's a 2. It's a pretty good looking card. Another pretty good looking card, a Hank Aaron. Did you know you could buy a 1958 Hank Aaron card in a PSA holder that wasn't a 1 or totally thrashed for $36? And we're talking about Hank Aaron. Same set, same year, also an All-Star. How about an Ernie Banks? Really well-centered one there. Bright colors for $34.87 on the Ernie Banks All-Star card. Another Campanella. Now, this one is a little bit rounder condition, and it's got some surface issues, but it's still a 1953 Topps Roy Campanella. And, I mean, kind of an iconic card, really well-centered. Another raw card, another Campanella in a 1955 Bowman Roy Campanella. I mean, now we don't really know because it's raw, but looking at it, decent centering, decent corners. How about a 54 Richie Ashburn? Richie Ashburn is a really popular, really well-collected card and player. And one of my favorite cards of his is the 54. And again, this is a 3 for $33.89. A 1958 Al Kaline, another close, tight shot of him. You know, his rookie card was in 54, and this is, not long after that for $33.55, pretty well centered. How about a multiplayer card that has Roberto Clemente on it in a 4? And again, corners look pretty good. It's a new grade, $33. The first Topps card from Stan Musial is 58 All-Star. Really well centered, really good color, good eye appeal, in a 3 for $32.25. Next up, a 59 Brooks Robinson. Another really good looking card for $32. This one's in a 4. And I'm going to say it again. If you sent something into PSA right now, it'd be $25 just to get it graded and authenticated. How about a 55 Whitey Ford Bowman card for $31.25? The card is not thrashed. It is a pretty darn decent looking card. And it's about $30. Another cool Robin Roberts card. This one is a 56 Topps. This one was a buy it now. A lot of these are auctions, which is sometimes why they sneak for cheap. But this Robin Roberts was a buy it now for under $30. We got the 57 Topps Richie Ashburn. Again, really popular player. $27.55 for a very nice looking card, in my opinion. Another Robin Roberts. This one is also a 1950 Bowman, and it is ungraded. Now, by the looks of it, it's clearly rounded. It's probably going to get like a 2, maybe a 3, just from the looks of it. But for right around $25, that's not bad. And how about another 55 Bowman? This one in a 3 for $26.39 for Minnie Minoso. Hall of Famer after Hall of Famer for very affordable prices. A 57 Topps Duke Snider, $23.95. It's a 2, and it's a little off center top to bottom, but it's not like distracting. It's still a decent looking card. I did mix in a few ungraded cards because I know a lot of us out there prefer our cards ungraded. This is a 59 ALKALINE, really well centered for $22.25. How about a Phil RIZZUTO, a 1952 Bowman for $21.50. And again, I think it's got great eye appeal, really well centered all the way around the card, and for just over $20. One of my favorite deals here is this 1957 Eddie Matthews, a cool card, really well centered, $20. Again, it would cost more than that just to get it graded. Another raw card, how about a Bob Feller? Bob Feller is a very expensive player. If his cards are early 50s, they're expensive. This one's a 55 Bowman, ungraded, so it's, you don't know for sure what you're getting, but it's $19.25. It's a lot to risk.
Okay, so this is what I need to know from you. This did not take 10 minutes to dig through all of these sales, and these were all eBay sales. That's the only auction house I went through for these cards to see what things are selling for. But my question for you is this worth it? Do you want me to spend time and do this every month? Do you want me to do the same thing for the month of September? Do you want to see the deals that are out there? Is $50 too much? Or is that kind of a nice spot to be under $50? Do you want me to look for cards in the 60s and cards in the 40s, or stay focused on the 50s? I don't want to be overlooking the value price cards. I want us to be realizing that you don't have to have $1 million to have an awesome collection. And a lot of these cards weren't just under $50. They were well under $50. And in a lot of cases, they were really good condition. I mean, there were cards that were graded in 6s and 5s and tons of 4s. These aren't just ungraded, raw, creased up cards. They're nice cards that would look great in any collection. So my questions for you are, first, do you want me to keep doing this? Do you want me to report back to you each month and share 50 more great deals from the 50s under $50 for September? And also, what are a couple of the cards in there that if you knew they were selling for that, you might have thrown a bid on there because they seemed like a really good deal to you? Because to me, there were 3 or 4 cards in there. I mean, I wish I had bid on them because they went too cheap. There were a lot that went too cheap, but there were 3 or 4 specifically that I wish that I had put a bid on because I really would have liked to have the card at that price. Let me know in the comments below. I look forward to hearing from you.